Come on here, come back. We'll start with the third chapter, audit, documentation and evidence. It's a big chapter compared to chapter 2. We'll do that first because that is big one, so that also gets finished first. Shall I start? Okay, now listen. Wait. You don't have to write anything as usual. First, you just have to pay attention. Once we nothing but understand, if there is anything to be written, I'll tell you to be written, else not required to be written. Oh my God. Okay. Now, talking about nothing but chapter number 3, it is on audit, documentation and evidence. As you can see, there are two things which are covered in that, documentation and evidence. But we are going to learn reverse. First, what we will learn is what is audit evidence. And secondly, what we will learn is what is audit documentation. So the first concept that we people basically have to learn is the concept of audit evidence. Perfect. Now, come on, give me the meaning of audit evidence. Come on, what do you mean by audit evidence? One word. Come on, yeah. Correct. Can I say in one word? It is information. Correct. See, never forget this, huh? Information in two words, audit evidence. Audit evidence in one word, information. The meaning is one and the same. So can I say audit evidence is nothing but information on which the auditor basis is opinion. That is known as audit evidence. But audit evidence should be dash and dash. It should be sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. You remember? Say E. What is say E? Correct. Sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. I told you, whenever the auditor goes for a photograph, he does not say cheese. What he says is say E, and thereafter there is a photograph of the auditor. So ultimately, I hope is whenever you talk about the auditor and whenever there is audit evidence, there is not normal audit evidence, there is always say. What is say? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Now keep on answering. What do you mean by sufficient? Come on, yeah. Correct. Can I say it means enough, quantity wise? So can I say when it is enough, here you are talking about the quantity of audit evidence. What do you mean by appropriate? Correct. Can I say it is relevant and reliable? So here you are talking about the quantity of audit evidence or quality? Quality. So basically whenever the auditor wants to give an opinion, he requires information, which is known as audit evidence. It should be sufficient and it should be appropriate. Acha, it is sufficient or appropriate or sufficient and appropriate? It is sufficient and appropriate. Correct. So it should not only be enough quantity wise, it should also be proper quality wise. Now, when you talk about audit evidence, hear carefully, it does not only mean the information which you are going to get from the books of accounts or financial statements. It also includes other information which is supporting evidence. Repeating, audit evidence or information does not only amount to the information which you are going to get from the books of accounts or the financial statements. It also includes other information which is supporting evidence. Just to give you a couple of examples, say for a simple example, minutes book. Now, if you people remember what is minutes book, can I say it is record of meetings? So ultimately, can I say if the auditor wants to check that minutes book, can he check? Yes, because I hope as he has the right to obtain information explanation. Come on, yeah. Acha, but think and answer. Can I say, is it books of accounts? No. Is it financial statements? No. Is it other information? Yes. So can you have that other information also? Yes. One more example. Say ultimately there are nothing but bills which are there. Supposing if at all they have done any expense, say printing and stationery. So can I say there has to be the bill? Then ultimately when you talk about the bill, think and answer. That bill, is it financial statements? No. Is it books of accounts? No. But is it supporting evidence? Yes. So ultimately, when I talk about audit evidence does not only include books of accounts or financial statements, it also includes other information which is supporting evidence. Till here, all okay? Okay, now a bit more ahead. Focus on. When you talk about audit evidence, your audit evidence can be classified. What? Your audit evidence can be classified, and it can be classified on two bases. One, either it can be classified on the basis of its nature, or it can be classified on the basis of its source. Repeating, your audit evidence can be classified either on the basis of its nature, or it can be classified on the basis of the source. When you talk about classified on the basis of the nature, there are three further reclassifications. Either the nature of audit evidence, it can be nothing but verbal, oral. Now come on, use common sense. If one is verbal, other is correct, written. So can I say that is known as documentary? What? Documentary. So basically this is verbal. This is written. And can you tell me the last one? Last one is to see. In other words, this is visual. So anything which you see and you get information, that is known as visual. So your audit evidence on the basis of the nature, how many reclassifications are there? Three. Which three? Oral, documentary, visual. As far as sources are concerned, there are only two sources which are possible. Either the source will be internal, come on yaar, or the source will be external. I use common sense. Can I say internal will be generated outside the organization or within the organization? Within the organization. Perfect. What about external? Outside. So the information which is generated from out is known as external. Information which is generated from inside, it is known as internal. All cools? All cools. Wait. Your audit evidence can be classified on how many bases? Two bases. Correct. One, nature. Other, source. Nature, three. Oral, documentary, visual. Sources, two. Internal, external. Internal, within, external, outside. All cool? Acha. Now what do you mean by oral evidence? So simple. For a simple example, if I tell you, say, I want management to give me explanation. So I will ask to the management, no, management, batao, what is this expense which is there in your financial statements? Then if they give me explanation, can I say what they are giving me? What is the nature of that information? Oral. Perfect. Acha, can you give me an example of documentary? Anything in writing. I will give you a simple example. Say, confirmation from debtors. Oh, acha. What is this? Let us understand. Confirmation from debtors. Say, for a simple example, say there is a balance sheet of the company, X Limited. I'm the auditor, okay, Mr. R. Now say on the asset side, there are debtors. And say the debtor amount is 5 lakh. Now think and answer. Whose balance sheet? Companies. Whose debtors? Companies. What is the amount? 5 lakhs. I am the auditor. Can I say I will have to verify whether this amount of 5 lakhs is correct or not? Now, can I say how will I verify? Very simple. I will ask to the debtor only, na? Okay, debtor, batao, whether the amount is matching or not. Why? Very simple. If in the company's books, he is debtor of 5 lakhs, can I say in the debtor's books of accounts, the company X Limited should be the creditor of 5 lakhs? Come on, yeah. It means, can I say the amounts should be same, but the accounts should be opposite. So if in the company's books he is debtor, in the debtor's book, company should be creditor. And can I say amount should be matching? Come on, yeah. Then what is the best way to ultimately confirm? Very simple. Auditor will write a letter to him that debtor, batao, whether the amount is matching or not. Now, when that debtor confirms to you in writing whether it is matching or not, think and answer. When you got something in writing, this is what type of information? Documentary. Now do you understand? Acha, doubt. Sir, what if the amount does not match? I will tell you later. When I do standard on auditing 505, which is in this chapter only, which is on external confirmation. As of now, understand. Documentary. All cools? All cools. Okay. And the last one, visual. Can you give me an example of visual? Visual is to see, no? Come on, yeah. You already know, yeah. Example of visual, yeah. PDF. ICS, okay. Stock. Stock is perfect. Correct. See, for a simple example, say ultimately you people check the stock count. See, who will basically do physical verification of the stock? Management. Can I say auditor has to check whether management is doing properly or not? So can I say auditor also will go to the go down to verify whether management is properly calculating the stock or not? Now, when he goes to the go down, he goes like this. No, no. Can I say obviously he will see whether management is doing properly or not? And then looking at that, he will come to know. So when looking at something, you get information. This information, what is the nature? Correct. Can I say the nature is visual? So basically, I hope realize three. Which three on the basis of nature? Oral, documentary, and visual. Oral, simple example. You are nothing but I hope is asking something to the management. Acha. Documentary, simple example. Confirmation from debtors. Visual, simple example. Stock count. Now, come on. Give me an example of internal evidence. Think. Internal place. Correct. Can I say books of accounts? Dash. Can I say books of accounts are generated inside the organization only? Since books of accounts are generated inside the organization, like purchase book, sales book, cash book, bank book, use common sense. Can I say that is internal evidence? Vouchers also. Okay. Give me example of external now. Come on. Correct. Can I say confirmation from debtors, which I got? Can I say when the debtor confirmed in his letter? Can I say that was external? One more example. Can I say bank statements? Come on, yeah. Bank statement is generated inside or from the bank? From the bank. So that is internal or external? External. Perfect. Come on, answer. Your audit evidence can be classified on how many bases? Two bases. One is nature. Other is source. Nature, how many are there? Three. Which? Oral, documentary, visual. Sources, how many are there? Two. Internal, external. Acha, internal, within. External, outside. Acha, give me example of oral. Correct. Can I say any talk with the management? Okay. Thereafter, documentary, confirmation from debtors. Visual, stock taking or asset checking. Okay. Internal example, books of accounts, vouchers. External example, confirmation from debtors, bank statements, etc. All cool? All cool. Last important thing, hear carefully. The reliability. What? The reliability of the audit evidence does not only depend upon the nature, but it also depends upon the source. Repeating what I told. The reliability of your audit evidence does not only depend upon the nature, but it also depends upon the source. What I mean is, you think and answer. Oral is more reliable or documentary? Oral is more reliable or documentary? Documentary. Can you tell me why? Correct, because I hope there is proof, no? But I hope there is no proof in case of oral. And now you may say, sir, recording, but by default, what is more reliable is documentary. Acha, think and answer. Internal is more reliable or external? Come on, yeah. Internal or external? External. Good. You know why? Because internal can be manipulated by the management, whereas external is not thought to be directly manipulated by the third party. But management obviously is more skeptical to do something wrong. So external is always more reliable as compared to internal. So then use common sense. Your reliability depends only on the nature? No. Does it also depend upon the source? Yes. There is a separate question dealing with reliability, which I will just take up now only after 2-3 minutes. But as of now, reliability depends only on the nature. No. Only on the source. No. It depends upon the nature and source. Correct. Now, all this that I have discussed is with respect to what? Audit evidence. This audit evidence is covered by SA 500. So SA 500 is on which evidence? Audit evidence. So once you know all this, what you also know is SA 500. Till here, all cool? Come on, first answer this much, then we go to the reliability question. Come on, answer. Firstly, what do you mean by audit evidence? One word. Any information on which the audit ter. Basis is opinion. Is known as audit evidence. It should be sufficient and appropriate. Audit evidence only means the books of accounts and financial statements. No. Does it also mean other information? Yes. Other information is basically your supporting evidence. Simple example of supporting evidence is you can say minutes book, you can say bills, you can say invoices, etc. Okay. Thereafter, the classification of the audit evidence on how many bases? Two. Firstly, on the basis of its nature and on the basis of the source. Nature, how many are there? Three. Oral, documentary, visual. Sources, how many are there? Two. Internal, external. Internal is generated within the organization. External is generated outside the organization. Thereafter, reliability of audit evidence depends only on the nature. No. It depends only on the source. No. It depends on either this or that. No. It depends upon the nature and source. All cool? Now, let us talk about nothing but the reliability. Think and answer. Huh? There are simple 5 statements. I will begin the statement, you end the statement. Okay. Acha, external evidence is more reliable than? Come on here. Internal. Correct. So can I say first point is, don't write external audit evidence. I'll write external evidence only now. External evidence is more reliable than internal evidence. Okay. Is internal evidence also reliable sometimes? Yes. But you know when? Only when the ICS is efficient. Ayo, what? Only when the ICS is efficient. Doubt. What do you mean by ICS? Come on, yeah. Internal control system. Can I say basically we already know internal control system? CCTV cameras management installed, identity cards the management gave, thereafter the authorization or approvals. Then all of this, if it is efficient, can I say then what is inside the books of accounts that also is reliable? So internal is reliable, but conditional on the fact that ICS is efficient. Perfect. Okay. Oral evidence is more reliable or documentary? Correct. So can I say documentary evidence is more reliable than oral evidence? Okay. Think and answer. Huh? Audit evidence obtained by the auditor himself is more reliable or obtained from the management himself? Why? Arey, if you get from the management can easily manipulate and give it to you, no? So ultimately, what is more reliable? Obtained by the? Correct. So can I say audit evidence obtained by the auditor himself is more reliable than anything which is obtained from the management or entity? Okay. And last thing, think and answer. Original is more reliable or duplicate? Correct. Can I say original? See, it is common sense, but that's why I'm teaching now. Is more reliable than duplicate. All cools? So how many statements are there? 5. You will not believe. For these 5 statements, you people get 4 marks. For this classification, you people get 4 marks. For this meaning, you people get 2 marks. So many marks are here. See, 2, 4, 4. They're giving marks like anything like that. Take it, lad. Take it. But I hope you should not enough for that. Come on, answer. Wait. Can you answer reliability? How many points are there? Yeah? 5. Firstly, what will you write? Reliability of audit evidence depends only on the nature. No, yeah, Rahul. Only on the source. No, yeah, Rahul. Nature and source, yeah. Correct. How many points are there? Come on, 5. First, external evidence is more reliable than internal. Internal is reliable provided ICS is efficient or satisfactory. Okay. Documentary evidence is more reliable than oral evidence. Audit evidence obtained by auditor himself is more reliable than obtained from the management or entity. And lastly, original is more reliable than duplicate. All cools? All cools. Come on, come to the textbook, please. Chapter 3, audit documentation and evidence then. I know, yeah. Still, I don't know why people unnecessarily feel it's difficult. Oh, no, okay. A simple no, yeah. Hi, I'm telling now. Documentation we'll do later, huh? Don't worry. First, what I want you all to come is to audit evidence. See, here. I don't know which page number. For me, it is 22. For you, it is where? You find it. I want audit evidence. Page 73. As per some assumed to be reliable sources. Did you find audit evidence? Come on, mark it important. Read the meaning, underline it. See, this is information contained in the accounting records. That is first part. But apart from that, it also includes other information. Okay. Like ultimately, I hyperlize the minutes of the meeting, written confirmations, supporting evidence. This is your one, and this other information is your two. Tomorrow we don't have a lecture, no? Day after? Day after is there. Come on, you're done this part? Very manageable. Okay. Thereafter, what we have is nothing but sufficiency and appropriateness. I just want you to read this part 2.2.1 and then 2.2.3. Don't read 2.2.2. Don't read this part because you require materiality knowledge for that. That I will come to it later. Don't worry. Sufficiency is a measure of quantity. And obviously, here you are talking about the quality. Oh, day after tomorrow is 6:30. We'll do one thing. In whatever break I give of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, normally we'll take at 6:30 only. What's it? Huh? 15 minutes break in the beginning only, bloody. Directly. Sleeping breaks. 15 minutes we'll sleep, and thereafter we'll start, yeah. 6:30 in the morning, yeah. Chumma. Oh, yeah. Then why to sleep only in the first place? Yeah, 6:30. Arey, you to just have to sit, no, at 6:30, yeah. You have to speak also, and that also sense. It's difficult at 6:30 to speak sense, yeah. So you mean now also I'm not speaking sense, sir? That's so rude, yeah. So rude, yeah. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. No, don't look at me. Oh, how have you become so rude, yeah? Staying with me, yeah. Acha. Acha, sufficiency and appropriateness, only one is required, na? Either sufficient or appropriate. Acha, both of them. So both of them should coexist. So read this. Sufficiency and appropriateness are interrelated and both of them should coexist. All goals. Come on. Next, we have types of audit evidence. If you want, put a slash and write down classification of audit evidence. Classification. So whether they ask you classification or they ask you types, the answer will be one and the. Oh, acha. Normally comes in the exam for 4 marks, mark it important. Either it is based on the source or it is based on the nature. Nature, there are 3: visual, oral, and documentary. On the other hand, in source, there are 2: internal and external. Internal generates within the organization. External is generated outside the organization. Hmm. You can just write nothing but examples that I have written for visual, oral, and documentary. Come on, Dania. Some people have already gone into the relaxation mode. Now, some people are hitting dialogues. Huh? They are like in visual evidence, that is to see now. Only some people can observe. Most of them just see. Wow, playing with words. Huh? At this time, nobody will understand it. They are waiting for 1 p.m. They are just waiting and observing the time as of now, rather than the statement which you are giving it to me. All done, yeah. Come on, yeah. Next is reliability. See, reliability of information of audit evidence is influenced by the source and the nature. Okay. So reliability of is increased when obtained from independent sources outside the entity. In other words, this is external is more reliable than internal. Hmm. Second one, reliability of audit evidence is internally increased when related controls are proper. Okay, effective. So second one means what? Internal is reliable provided ICS is efficient. Hmm. Third is audit evidence obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable than obtained from the management. I mean, this is simple, yeah. So this is like audit evidence obtained by auditor himself is more reliable than obtained from the management or entity. Documentary is more reliable than oral. And lastly, you already know original. Where should I write here? Right here. Is more reliable than duplicate. You can write photocopies also in case of duplicate if you so wish to write. Hey, come on, yeah, manageable, yeah. Very. After company audit, all this is what, yeah. This is so simple after company audit. Company audit was also not that difficult, yeah. Just big. Okay, shall I go ahead? Come on, listen. Next thing that we need to know is there are certain methods, there are certain techniques in order to obtain audit evidence. So, what are the methods or techniques in order to obtain audit evidence? So, what all can the auditor do to get audit evidence? Now, very simple it is, not difficult. Just focus, you will learn. First, I will list all the methods. Okay. Firstly, observation. Thereafter, reperformance. Thereafter, inspection. Thereafter, recalculation. Thereafter, analytical procedures. Yeah. See, here's, I wanted to write here external confirmations, and lastly, inquiry. These are the techniques in which you can obtain audit evidence. So what are the basic techniques? Come on, one by one tell, then I'll explain in detail. First is observation, reperformance, external confirmation, inspection, recalculation, analytical procedures, and inquiry. Now let us understand in detail one by one. It is one of the very important questions that we people have of this chapter, which gets asked for 8 marks. So it is really important. Okay, so focus properly. Listen. First is observation. Can I say simple example again? Stock taking, stock counting. So for a simple example, if the auditor goes to the go down to verify whether the management is properly calculating stock or not, he will make an observation. Once he makes an observation, thereafter he will get the information. So can I say by doing observation, you get audit evidence. So observation is one technique to get audit evidence. All cool? So by doing observation, what do you obtain? Audit evidence. Now do you understand? Okay, come on. Next one, reperformance. Now as the name suggests, reperformance. Can I say auditor is again performing something which is already performed by the management? Correct. So first it may be done by the management, but now who is again doing? Auditor. Why? Because he wants information. I'll give you a simple example. Say ultimately auditor told to the management, batao, how is your ICS? So management is telling, "Arey, auditor, our ICS is best in the world." Oh, acha. Now use common sense. Management checked the ICS on their own and told to the auditor. Will the auditor rely blindly? No. Can I say obviously the auditor will have to verify himself also whether the ICS is actually efficient or not. So something which is already checked by the management, can the auditor again check to verify? Yes. When he again checks to verify, that is known as reperformance. But why is he doing reperformance? To get information. Information is what? Audit evidence. So one more method in which you can get the audit evidence is reperformance. All cool? Okay. Next one, external confirmation. Hey, come on, yeah, give me an example of external confirmation here. I just give you debtor, hello. Balance sheet, hello. Debtor 5 lakhs. Then ultimately, can you tell me who will write a letter to whom? Now hear carefully, see if you understand. Don't miss out. The auditor will write a letter to the debtor to ask whether the company is the creditor in the books of accounts of the debtor. If the company is the creditor in the books of accounts of the debtor, then the debtor will write to the auditor that the company is the creditor also of the same amount of 5 lakhs. Then such a letter from the debtor to the auditor that company is the creditor is known as external confirmation. You understood what happened? Debtor, auditor, creditor, ayo. Hey, it was nice, yeah. Now think and tell me, then ultimately I hope realize, why are you doing this external confirmation? Chumma, time pass, jobless, lockdown. No. Can I say that is in order to obtain audit evidence, whether the amount is matching or not? Come on, next one. I know, turret, no. Next is nothing but inspection. Acha, simple example of inspection. Say you are basically inspecting certain documents. Say for a simple example, title deeds. Yeah, this we have seen somewhere. Ownership papers, correct. For a simple example, whether land and building belongs to the organization or not. Can I say you will have to inspect the title deeds, whether the name of the company is there or not. If the name of the company is there, it belongs to them. If it is not there, give me some information why it is not there. Whether it is rental, then give me rental agreement. All cools. All cools. Acha, why are you doing inspection, by the way? To get information. Information is known as audit evidence. All cool? Okay. Come on. Next is recalculation. Now, what do you mean by recalculation? As the name suggests. Come on here. Can I say auditor is again calculating? Wait, first who calculated? Management. Now who is calculating? Auditor. Can you tell me why? Correct. In order to check the accuracy, whether what management have calculated, whether it is accurate or not. All cool? All cool. Come on. Next is analytical procedures. Actually, this analytical procedures is covered by SA 520, on which there is a separate chapter in your auditing syllabus. If you check, it will be chapter 8 if I'm not wrong, which is on analytical procedures. Now, analytical procedures in detail, anyways, we'll do later. As of now, I'm just giving you a brief about it. Okay. It is basically ratios and trend analysis. Repeating. It is basically ratios and trend analysis. Let us take an example to understand. Listen. Say last year, the GP ratio was 25%. But current year, the GP ratio, it became 5% only. Now think and answer. Last year it was 25. Current year it became 5. So can I say this is a decrease? Think and answer. This is usual or unusual? Unusual. Directly from 25 it has come down to 5. Hello, from 25 it has becomes 22, 23, 20. It is understandable. But suddenly from 25 it becomes 5. Can I say definitely there is something wrong? Then when there is something wrong, auditor will have to inspect further. When he inspects further, why does he do that? In order to get information. Then obviously this procedure that he is doing, this analysis that he is doing is known as analytical procedure. I'll also give you example of trend analysis. So simple here. Say you are making profits, but suddenly plunge, there is a loss. Now I hope realize. So can I say now this has gone against the trend of profit? Since now this is against the trend, usual or unusual? Unusual. Since it is unusual, can I say auditor will have to inquire why did it happen? So when he does analysis, this analysis is known as analytical procedure. But why did you do this? Correct, to get information that whether it is due to normal business practices or due to some fraudulent activities. All cool? Okay. And the last one, which is inquiry. What do you mean by inquiry? Correct. Inquiry in simple words is to ask. Yeah. Say for a simple example, in the P&L, there is one expense, traveling expense, 50,000. I gave you this example so many times here. Now, there is no supporting evidence. So can I say I will ask for information from the management? Management, batao. What is this 50,000 expense for? Give me some information. If no information, give me explanation. So when I ask to the management, can I say this asking is known as inquiry? But why am I asking? Correct, to get information. So it is nothing but one more method to get the audit evidence. All cool? All cool. So basically, can I say when you talk about the techniques to obtain audit evidence, these are the techniques. How many techniques are there? 7. I think there are 7 only. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Come on, tell me the techniques one by one. First is observation. That is nothing but you observe, you get information. Next is reperformance. It means first performed by management, then performed by auditor to get the information. Next is external confirmation. Simple example debtors. Next is inspection. Examining simple example, examining nothing but title deeds on ownership papers. Next is recalculation. Why do you recalculate again what is already calculated? Correct. In order to check the accuracy, whether what management have calculated, whether it is accurate or not. Next is analytical procedures. Simple example, ratios and trend analysis. If there is something which is unusual, you'll have to inquire, you'll have to check further. Why? To get information, whether it is due to normal business practices or any fraudulent activities. And lastly, inquiry. What is inquiry? Inquiry is basically to ask for information. All cools? All cools. But obviously, we'll make it a bit simple. It is 8-mark question. So important. Yeah. You always want a key, yeah? Why it is like that, yeah? You already know it was key coming. Come on, one by one, now. Firstly, oh, I'll tell Ray what it is. Oh, then Ray. It is not Re, okay? O re, like that you do now. So re, okay. But I hope realize, listen, no. Who gives you marks after all? Who will pass you in the CA exam after all? Who do you make an application to? Can I say I say? Yeah. So you don't have to say Ore Pia. You have to say Ore ICI. Wait. ICAI. How? So simple, yeah. See, I inspection. C calculation. This re you have to add. Okay, this much is okay. A analytical procedures. I inquiry. E external. R reperformance. O observation. So how do you remember? Very simple. You remember ICI. ICI will give you 8 marks. So very simple. It is not Ore Pia. It is Ore. ICI. Ore. ICI. Ore. ICI. Will you be able to answer? I will check. Wait. O. Re. Then ICI. Come on. One by one. O stands for observation. Okay. R. Reperformance. Okay. E. External confirmation. Not bad. Acha. Thereafter. I. Inspection. Okay. C. Recalculation. I just know. A. Correct. Analytical procedures. And lastly, I. Inquiry. As simple as that. Manageable, yeah. So can I say it is Ore ICI? Ore ICI. Is this okay? Come, textbook. Come here. See, auditing techniques or methods to obtain audit evidence. 6 to 8 marks, important question. We have Ore ICI. So this is O, this is E, this is R. Wait, this is not R. This is R. Then this is I. This is C. This is A, and this is I. So the C just stands for recalculation. Obviously, we'll write it in the key chart also, but as of now, just mark this much. Come on, I want you to read entirely, please. Sumaya, not bad, yeah. Come on, yeah, done, yeah. Go to the key chart also and update. Write the question, methods, techniques to obtain audit evidence. Write down ORA and write down the methods. Done, yeah. Fast, yeah. Then the last thing for the day, audit procedures, and then that's it. Some people have gone into relaxation mode. Full. क्या रे? शायद. Go ahead. Come. Next now is nothing but audit procedures. Now I'll just make a chart. I need you to copy that chart, whatever I'm preparing. Are copy no? Some people are relaxing again. Like whatever. Come on, yeah, done, yeah. Someone copy fast, yeah. First, now we have to understand all the audit procedures, risk assessment procedures, test of controls, substantive procedures, test of details, and analytical procedures. Some people are like, no, yeah, not now, next time. Hey, you shut up, yeah. Every time you think I'll leave you early for like 8 to 10 minutes, like this only. When will we finish the portion? Yeah, we will finish. Yeah, you can do it, Rahul. Leave no. Hey, what leave no? Why you're telling? So just do one thing more. Just break this up. Chal. Right on vouching. You tell like this to every professor to leave that you are telling to me here. Ah, come on, you're done. Bas, that's it. Go. Next time we'll see all audit procedures. Plus, yeah, yeah. Go, yeah. Have your lunch. Enjoy, yeah. I'll see you Saturday morning, 6:30. Bye, yeah.